Well, we're here.
Tim, I've been here.
What are you talking about? I've been here. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. We're on time. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Timmy,
forgive me.
You were here, but you were in your car. You were on the phone. I missed a call from you as I was moving in some of our chairs that we use.
I was calling to let you know that I'm on my way, but then I took a ministry call right after we got off the phone. I knew I probably should have waited on that call, but you know how these things are.
Yeah.
Had to take the call, took the call, and, well, here we are at 11:38.
Here we are, because we're actually pastors, not just podcasters. Sometimes you have to do the ministry things, like yesterday.
Well, Andrew, that's because yesterday was Sunday.
And this right here
is the morning after.
Welcome to the Morning After Ministry Show, a caffeine-fueled look back on the week and ministry that was.
Oh, boy.
And that's why I'm not allowed back in Vancouver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, Tim.
I'm not even mad. I'm actually impressed.
It damaged my testimony for a little bit, but worth it.
Here we are. It's Monday. My name is Tim. This is Andrew. Each and every Monday at 11 o'clock on the dot.
Right at 11 o'clock.
We're here.
We hang out.
We talk the week in ministry that was and is.
It was a week of ministry.
It was a full week of ministry. You and I,
You had a full week of ministry yesterday.
It was a weekend. It was a full weekend of ministry. We'll just jump right into it because it's one of those days. We're talking recovery post-ministry weekends, not normal. Like,
yeah, Timmy,
we all have normal ministry weekends.
Yeah, there are the regular. Hey, I preached. Someone wanted to have a talk.
Sure.
It was awkward, and then I got the phone call on the way home, and I just want to relax. That's not what you did. You were at church almost from dark until dark yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it was a 14-hour Lakeview day yesterday.
It's a lot of hours to be at church.
Saturday, we had just a beautiful memorial service. It was you've been at those where this was so good. I've known this guy for years, and I was hearing stories I had never heard. I was blown away.
When you're at a service like that, it's almost life-giving. It's more like energy-giving than energy draining. However, then you get home from that.
That's the ticket.
And the minute you sit down, you're like, ooh.
So we got
that was work.
We did a 4 or 5 hour Saturday because of the memorial service it was nearly 200 people. It was a big service.
Big memorial service.
So it felt like I had just finished a Sunday. So, and it was Saturday.
And you had a Sunday coming.
So I told Steph when we got home, I was like, I kind of feel like I just finished a Sunday and I know it's only Saturday.
And what time was the service? Because college football started on Saturday.
I'm aware. The service was at 10.
Okay.
I was there a little after 8. And I didn't get home till after noon.
It's a long day.
I had about a 20-minute window at home because then I had to get my son to his check-in time for his football game. Andrew, apparently at this age, they no longer run the clock. So I don't know how long you've been in tackle football, but for little guys, the clock runs until the final 2 minutes of each half. Then they'll do kind of traditional rules. Well, Aaron is now at the age where that is not the case.
So a game that used to be exactly an hour is now
hour to an hour and a half was 3 hours.
Like a real football game.
He had to check in at 1. We left the park at 6:20.
Ugh.
And there's no shade.
Timmy, my youngest two started a church rec league soccer thing. It's 0.2 miles from my house, and it is exactly 1 hour of practice and 1 hour game time every week. That is the way to do it because I love my kids, but I love my couch.
Yeah.
I didn't buy my kids. I bought my couch.
That's
I picked
true.
it out. I
That's
sat
true.
on a bunch of other couches.
No, you're right. You're right.
Like, no, this is the one that I love. And so I feel like it needs me to spend time with it.
Andrew, we're gonna continue the discussion. So we had a little bet going as to who would be the first to notice the new microphones.
And
you're never going to believe it.
As soon as I saw Adam was on, I was like, oh,
Adam's first take was, I was going to say Adam, but you said it before I could. Adam, we did. We got some new mics. It was time. It was
6 years.
6 years.
6 years of the Audio Technica 2020s. And
Nothing wrong with those.
They were great.
When we have guests, which we might have more guests in the not too distant future, we'll be using those microphones. We appreciate
about that.
The nod.
With the office setup is different than it's been before. When there was a couch over there.
Yeah.
We could have. So are we gonna have a guy on the couch here? I don't know. We could use that chair and have a.
Andy, I don't know if this table's gonna cut it, buddy.
Tim, I just got this.
I know.
And I got it
I'm sorry.
specifically because for 6 years you were saying, why is there a round table in here? This is so stupid.
Jeff says I need to run over there and EQ. We have not had time to EQ. We literally,
Jeff,
I unboxed and plugged in.
You know how to get here. We would be thrilled.
We can tweak dials right now.
Also,
I have no idea.
Behringer board, not a whole lot we can do. I can do this real quick. I think this will help. I think that'll really just help everything.
There's no way that's going to help. Why would you do that? I'm turning that off. That's not helpful.
I wanted you to.
That's not helpful.
Have some reverb in your voice.
CJ says Andrew run his cable up and his back and over his shoulder. We could do that. Andrew could pull a Sunday morning and drape the cable right over the front shoulder.
I've been I'm still not running it down my shirt. Again, I get
They're so nice, Adam.
Sometimes.
They're so nice.
I've been putting it in my pocket, but making sure it's thrown over my shoulder instead of the front.
Why? Then we can't give you a hard time about anything. That's no fun.
But you know, we're doing the sermon clip that we're sharing every week, and so
it's noticeable. You're sick of the text messages.
I'm sick of the text messages and the
typically
long flesh-colored cable.
Within about 4 seconds of them posting the video, there's a screenshot
with someone. You know, you do that thing on Apple where you circle it, and I just don't want to have to read that on Tuesday afternoons anymore.
So, Andy, back to the topic at hand. We're talking long ministry weekend. CJ, you're feeling it today too. He pulled a 12-hour day yesterday. It was just one of those days. So it happens. Like we know this is coming. There are seasons where it's lighter in ministry weeks, and there are seasons where it's very, very heavy in ministry.
Timmy, you're a workout guy. You ice bath for recovery at home.
I ice bath for recovery at home.
What's the ministry ice bath after a weekend?
Why is this show title not Ministry Ice Bath?
Did
you just come up with that?
I did. We'll edit that in the podcast form.
This is going to be a new book. It's going to be published by Crossway.
Crossway, but way will be crossed out and say fit. Crossway fit.
What is the ministry?
What is your recovery after? Wow. Because there are some ministry weekends or weeks, you know, whether it's the youth pastor going to camp or whatever it is, where you're like, hey, here was the crazy week, but this next week I get to unplug. Maybe I'm gonna not preach next Sunday or whatever. But sometimes it's just, hey, back to a normal week. So
and this is one of those times. Like I'm not getting any extended time off.
There's no comp time.
No.
Also, when you're the senior pastor, it's hard to ask for comp time.
That doesn't really work.
Who do you ask?
I mean, but I will say this: as the senior pastor, it is good every now and then to know, okay, I'm putting in the hours that I need to put in. Like, and I had an elder text me last night, and this actually went a long way for me. Just checking on me. Hey, I know it was a long ministry weekend for you. I'm sure you're exhausted. Just making sure you're okay. To me, I was like, hey, like an elder reached out and checked on me. That's
a cool thing.
That kind of meant a lot to me. That has not happened many times in ministry life. Jeff, got to do the show while sitting in ice baths. Instant viral podcast.
You know, we've always talked about
Crossway, WHEY. I love that.
Great.
I love that.
Timmy,
that's so good.
We've talked about
so good.
Morning after robes before. What about morning after Speedos for the ice bath show?
I mean, that could be a winner.
Also, how long?
Winner is what I said. Not.
How long are you supposed to sit in there?
Oh, 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes.
It'd be a very short show.
You don't. Anything over 12 minutes could have permanent damage. You don't want to go down that road.
We might call the show so short that it's actually a bit shriveled at that point. It would be
wow. Adam says, had a new worship team member join this week, and due to illness, she sang lead on 3 of 4 songs.
Aboard.
We know you just got here, and it's all on you.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up. This is it. Go time. That's classic.
That's ministry.
Our worship leader got sick last week, and we had to pivot at the last second. But hey, Sunday's always coming.
Every 7 days, there's another one happening.
So for me, a ministry recovery typically looks like a pretty decent night's sleep. Like I'm not staying up late that night. So last night, I intentionally did not stay up late. Watched a little TV with my wife, not a ton. Tried to get a good night's sleep, but my poor dog was up early, so I was up early. So it happens.
Timmy, I got home from church. Now, my day was not nearly as long as yours, but it was one of those busy family weekends. Like I said, soccer.
Right in the fire, Adam.
My wife took 2 of the boys to Disney because they wanted to go, and then 2 of the boys wanted to stay home.
Disney yesterday?
Saturday. Saturday, they Disney'd for half the day, and it was just kind of a. Not to mention the Rays have been out west, which has really messed with me.
So you're up way. Yeah, I'm getting text messages from you. And I'm like, Andrew, stop.
I just thought I thought you were a Rays fan, and I thought that
I'm a little frustrated with the team right now.
Hitting a walk-off grand slam
is
something that you'd be interested in.
No, absolutely not.
But Timmy, I got home from church yesterday, and it's like week 1 of me having to grade papers for people, and it turns out that takes work. Who knew? Who knew that that actually took time and energy? So I took a nap after church yesterday.
Really?
And
went home?
Oh, I love a Sunday afternoon nap. Now, typically I take a couch nap with the baseball game on, but since the Rays were out west.
Yeah, but football season's coming, buddy. You're not going to be napping.
I know. But no, a couch nap with crowd noise in the background.
Not if your team's playing.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about football season. There's another game on after.
That's true.
And a crowd noise couch nap is just the best.
Crowd noise. So Andrew's ministry recovery is crowd noise couch nap.
Well, yesterday was a bed nap, and it was great. It was fantastic. It was like I woke up and I thought it was Tuesday. It was that good of a nap.
Andrew, I got to church early and realized all of the preparation and this is the other thing about long ministry weekends with the memorial service. I typically plug things into the computer for my stuff on Friday just to make sure it's ready. Well, I did all that for the memorial service. So I get to church on Sunday and realize, oh no.
You don't have screens, you don't have whatever prompts you need.
For the sermon. Like all the worship stuff was good, but we had also just upgraded ProPresenter and we migrated computers because we got a new Mac Studio in the worship center, which the thing is blazing fast. It's awesome. So then I'm downloading Bibles on ProPresenter to get everything set. I'm frazzled. I had to have an elder lead the powwow with our worship team that we do each and every week. I just said, hey, can you lead this? I've got to get some stuff done up here. And it was kind of like it's crunch time.
It's weird being the one who knows how to do everything. And again, we both, we rewind 8 or 9 years, and we were the ones who knew how to do everything, but weren't in charge of doing everything on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I know.
And I think about that we've talked about that a lot during the pandemic of what would have happened if our previous bosses were our bosses when COVID hit. But also, why didn't they have to get the computer working? What is that like one of the weird generation gaps where, hey, you know how to do this? Because I think a lot of the people coming up behind us don't know how to do some of the computer stuff.
It is kind of a bizarre thing.
Like
there's a generation behind us that doesn't know.
Yeah,
which is weird because the younger generation always knew
because their parents always had it figured out. Like whenever my parents got a new phone, I had to teach my dad how to hotspot his phone for Wi-Fi the other day, and I was thinking, but I also had to walk my kid through that. And I was like, when I was 13, I was walking my parents through setting up the universal remote. What's going to happen with us? Something funny happened.
CJ says, Andrew, ProPresenter is the industry-leading media program for presentations. Just thought we'd need to catch you up on that one.
I'm familiar.
Adam, good question. Okay, fair question. Why are you doing that stuff, Tim? I only do the sermon stuff. So everything else is taken care of by our creative director and our sound guy, Russell, who's just doing a phenomenal job. I need to give him a shout out because I showed up to the memorial service on Saturday. The stage was clear. It looked beautiful. He was already there. He had unlocked the building, and he was running through every single slide to make sure it looked good on the screens and on the stream. And he said, yeah, this is kind of my thing. I like to get here 30 minutes before you, Tim, and make sure everything's ready to rock so you don't have to worry about it. I'm like, that's
awesome.
That doesn't happen a lot.
No.
That does not happen. So outside of the sermon.
Now you have to show up even earlier than him to be like, oh, you like to be the first one there.
I do, but I don't think I can beat him because he said he knows that I'm typically a few minutes early, so he's going to beat me each time. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm fine with that. So that I'm only doing the sermon stuff. I could probably pass that off to.
Yeah, but
there's last second tweaks and things that I need to make sometimes.
That's how I am. I do my own sermon slides, and I do say slides because
Oh, I know.
We go from Keynote to PowerPoint. And it's just
Andrew, I got everything into the computer. I was a little frazzled on Sunday morning, but things happened. Sunday happened. We had beautiful back-to-back services.
It frustrating when things aren't going well and no one notices? I spend a good 12% of my week on this, and it didn't work, and nobody noticed, or at least they noticed and they didn't care.
Yeah.
Ugh.
we typically will care more than the average person about things.
I realize that. That's what I tell everybody, whether at a wedding or a funeral. If something goes wrong, you and I are the only two who will notice it, because I promise you nobody else cares. They'll pretend to care, but they don't.
So right after second service, we shifted over to the student center where we had it was a blast. We had a fantasy football draft.
We went to the fellowship hall and also did our fantasy draft. But here's the thing. We were like editing the league because we had people that hadn't said, hey, I want to play.
Oh, boy.
Saying, hey, I want to play. So we went from, Tim.
Oh, no.
We went from a 14-team league, which I was like,
that's already maxed out.
Too big of a league.
That's maxed out.
But then we had two people that wanted, so I was like, do we do
16 teams?
16 so everyone's going to be scoring 75 points a game.
That's that if you're lucky.
It'll be great. But that was a little bit much, but we're right at that number where if we had 18, or if we had 20, then it would be a no-brainer to do 2. So maybe that's where we are next year.
I'm with Adam, 12 team max. That's where we capped our Lakeview leagues this year. So we do have we have 3 separate Lakeview leagues.
Your church is about 5 times the size that we are on a Sunday morning.
And I think we might have left some guys out, and I feel bad about that.
Yeah, so we did not. We had people walking up to me in the fellowship hall, like, ooh, can I play?
You're not going to say no.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no.
You can't.
And so at one point I was like, ooh, do I give my team away? And then I had not hit the draft button, so I was able to add 2 more teams.
Good.
So we have a 16-team league. But of the 16 of us, 14 were there drafting in person, hanging out together.
And you guys already had food because you do that.
Yeah, we do food and we were saying, so next year, should we make it fantasy football? So even the people, the people that aren't
That's a good idea.
in the fantasy football draft, should we do,
you do the finger foods.
Nachos or whatever it is. Do
like football sporty
wings,
foods.
Yeah, do a fantasy football
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Everybody, whether or not they're participating in the draft.
So how do you do your drafts out there? Are you doing fantasy football drafts? Is your church against fantasy football? We're very much in favor of it. We have a commissioner.
I'm assuming there's no money involved.
Oh, there's a buy-in.
Are you serious?
Absolutely, there's a buy-in.
What's your buy-in?
Like 20.
Tim, you've got 3 teams of 12?
Well, only one's a buy-in league.
Okay, I was going to say.
The student ministry one is not a buy-in league.
I was going to say, Tim.
The softball league is not a buy-in league, but the main one is absolutely
somebody
a
is
buy-in.
Sitting on $750 of Lakeview money. You better have a catered meal next time.
Our commissioner went all out. He picked up all the food. He dressed the part. If you saw my Instagram stories, he had the music going, which actually, I think it might have elevated my heart rate a little bit because the music was pumping for every pick, and you're like, I can't mess this up.
Did you pick online, or did you do the stickers on the board thing?
So for the first round, we hand wrote in our pick, handed it to the commissioner.
And he announced it?
He announced it, then we hit draft. And then for rounds 2 through 14. Yeah, we did
16 in the
No, we only did 14. Because we wanted to have more guys in the waiver wire. We only did 14. So we did 14 rounds. Round 1 was called Out Loud, and that was a blast. We get to boo everybody or cheer them on, and
that's pretty exciting.
But we had a whole lot of fun with our fantasy football teams.
But then did you have to change the setting because you drafted with ESPN? I'm assuming
ESPN
and
snake
so
draft.
Did you have a 2-minute window? Because we just had it on the 30-second to make it go as quick as possible.
Oh no!
Everybody.
Ours was 90 seconds.
That's too long.
And people were doing it on purpose, letting it run all the way down just to be that guy.
That is too long. That is no wonder your day was so. I felt bad for you.
Adam says, still looking at my email for the invite. Oh, Bree says Pete was bummed he missed out. I know. I'm wondering if next year it becomes like, hey, every home group you might have to do your own fantasy football. Because as a church, I just don't know.
You could do every home group does their own, and then the high score on for the fantasy.
Ooh, longest drive for draft ranking. What a great idea.
You could do longest drive on disc golf.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We have the disc golf course, but obviously Peter Polis would be drafting first every year.
I saw the different MLB teams that had their things that they were doing. I think the A's, they had a hula hoop in the middle of the field, and they all went to the top of the bleachers, and whoever's ball got closest.
That's cool.
I think there's lots of fun ways. We just let ESPN randomize it. And for the first time in several years, I was not the first pick, which was good because I always get boo, of course you get the first pick. So that's my thing.
We allowed trading this year too, where you could trade picks. I didn't trade, but we allowed it.
I never want to win. I won the first year we played, and so now I always want to get to the playoffs, but I need somebody else to win. And then we had a gentleman.
I'll just say that's what I do too. Because that happens to me every year. And that's it, guys. If you're wondering why I never win,
it's his pastor's heart.
It's a pastoral heart.
That one player on the bench that scores 80 points the last week, he does that on purpose. We had a gentleman in our church pass this summer who loved our fantasy football league. And so we have named the trophy after him going forward. So
I would allow him to continue to play and just have him auto draft.
We do have
That would be watch him win.
When we upped our league, we did do that. We have a dummy team that someone in the church might, there's someone that might
They could jump in. They could jump in. That's a good idea.
So we have a dummy team, so we could just name it after him. But so we've got the Spencer Cup is going to go to the winner.
That's cool.
For in memory of Joe Spencer, and then we'll pass that from year to year.
I like that.
It's my favorite thing about it is that we have my 5th grade son is the youngest player, and we have people every year that are in their 60s and 70s play. And so you have 10-year-olds sitting with people in their 50s who barely know each other, but now they're sitting around the table in the fellowship after church.
We had that.
Talking about that. And I think that is one of the coolest things. And of the 16, I think we've got 5 women in the league this year. So it's a
You could have a female league too.
We almost could.
You could do that.
We could, but we don't because we're afraid of them.
That's true.
They'll beat us. They care way more. But we had one middle school boy that showed up with his fantasy magazine.
Oh yeah, gotta have it. Gotta have it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had people that can I play? Like pulled out their phone, downloaded the app for the first time, and we had people that had their queue waiting. So
dude, I walked in.
It was a great mix.
So I'll keep going with the day, but I want to tell you about our student ministry draft that they did last night, which cracked me up. They went all out after the draft was finished. Had a little bit of a window, so I told the guys, hey, I'm going to bring my discs. If you want to disc golf with me, we had quite a few guys stay for a round of disc golf in August.
It's very hot outside.
In the middle of the day.
It's very hot outside.
It was roasting.
It's very hot outside.
I played terribly. My son beat me in front of everybody.
It's very hot outside.
It was very embarrassing. Had fun with the guys. Got done, realized I've got about an hour. It's not enough time to go home, right? Like 15 minutes, it's just not enough time. So I decided to stay.
Did you swim in the lake?
Went to the showers.
Okay.
However, they were packed with storage.
I was thinking about that.
We've storaged our showers.
Timmy, I was thinking about that the other day.
Couldn't use the shower.
If we had a shower here, I could we've got workout stuff like along the boardwalk in downtown Safety Harbor.
Absolutely. I could get your workout in, come here and shower.
Get the blood flowing, go for a little brisk walk, come back. And
I talked to our youth pastor. He's a big fan of showering, so he's actually going to clear out the shower, get it fixed up and running so he can start using it.
So that the two of you can, do push-up competitions.
And then shower separately.
Yeah, shower. It's a good idea.
So I did the fake shower in the student center bathroom with the soap and the paper towels.
Yeah,
and
been there.
Did
you lock the door just in case someone came in since you were standing in front of the vanity that way?
Probably should have done that.
Probably should have.
Now that I think about it, just standing there with no pants and no shirt on with paper towels.
Flip that lock. It'll be a win for everybody, I promise.
Probably should have done that. Did not do that. Then we went right into membership class where, of course, more people showed up than signed up.
Yep.
Like that just kind of happens, including some people that were like, yeah, been meaning to come to this for a while. And I'm like, yeah, you've been coming for 4 years.
We have you on the list to be an elder.
Thought you were already a member. Glad you could make it.
Weird. Cool.
Had a great membership class. Some good questions. Lots of fun. We can have a whole episode just talking membership class. You and I do the same stuff. But then after membership class, I noticed that our students were still drafting over in the worship center, so I made my way over there. I didn't realize this was not an online draft. Todd, our youth pastor, purchased a real live draft kit.
There you go.
With a giant board.
With the stickers and all
with
the
the stickers, with every player's name.
I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and they would just give you one.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
No.
That's what I did.
Yeah, but
like a decade ago.
Yeah.
That's what mine was.
Our first year that we did it here, the first year we ever played fantasy at the church, they still had that. But now the nearest Buffalo Wild Wings to us is Oldsmar, and it's the worst one ever.
But here was the problem. They were 2 hours into the draft, and they had only finished 8 rounds.
That's a problem.
So I was like, hey, bud, we got to... So we had to cap it at 10 rounds, and then it's going to get picked up before the season starts. But still, it was a great idea.
You need a 30-second time limit or something.
And then Todd went home last night, and by this morning, he had manually inputted everybody's draft pick into the ESPN. It was ESPN.
Yeah.
And he manually inputted all of it. And I'm like, wow, I never did that as a youth pastor. We had fantasy drafts. It was just
He just cares more than you ever did.
I wasn't gonna say that, but I think you're right. Austin says live drafts are the best. They just take forever. They're so much fun. I think they're the best too. Yeah, Bree, agree. We do have storage problems at Lakeview.
It's
bad.
fun to be with other people and to yell at each other and
Adam, why would you not become a member? He said he was at his church for 27 years. He was there since he was an infant.
It's a lot of years.
Adam's only 28 years old.
That's not true.
He was there since he was 1.
Adam and I were in grade school together from
He just looks that
4th
good.
grade.
He just looks that good.
Do you know what, Tim? We have 9 kids between the two of us. He has 1. I think that's what it is.
Is that why he looks so young still?
He has the stress level of being the parent of 1 child as opposed to being the parent of 4 or 5.
Of course he does.
That must be what it is. Or healthy living, something like that. I don't know. Not the essential oils, healthy living. Just,
That's a good idea though.
Essential oils to make you look young.
Maybe that should be our
rub them on your
maybe that's our ministry. That's
show.
our ministry ice bath. Essential oils.
It's exactly what it is. Timmy, Thursday, I came in.
I can't even remember Thursday.
After
it
youth
feels
group,
so
we had
long
youth
ago.
Group Wednesday night. I'm the acting youth pastor these days because I have kids in the youth group.
Gotta go all the way back in time.
I don't want them to have a bad youth group experience.
Let me pull up my calendar.
But,
let me remember Thursday.
Tim,
Adam says, Andrew, you do have more hair than me. That's thanks to
a lot of money. I used to spend a lot of money. Now it's $3 a month.
That's not bad.
Prescription. No.
That's
prescription
worth it.
is covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
That is absolutely
Florida Blue
worth it.
Covers what used to be $25 a month for my Keeps prescription is now from Walgreens, and it's $3 a month. Well worth it.
You get that through Hims?
No, Keeps.
Keeps?
It was Keeps, and now I just Walgreens. Listen, Tim, not everybody's been blessed with your genetics. Okay.
Say a word. I'm proud of you. I have seen the transformation. It looks great.
Way more than there used to be. Timmy, we had an election in here on Tuesday.
Yep, we had that at Lakeview.
So Sunday after church, we stacked all the chairs in the worship center.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was a little bit interesting because the last time we have 1 election left. When you sign up, you have to agree for the whole election cycle. So that's 3 elections for us. And our library here in downtown Safety Harbor has been under construction, but it's about to be done. We'll never have to do this again because it's been a nightmare. There's a parking issue. There's a preschool issue. There's just an issue.
Hims, CJ, not hers. Hims.
It's different. But we have been hosting the elections here in Safety Harbor. So last time we asked some of the men in the church to stay and stack the chairs, and about 10% of the chairs we have in our worship center have armrests on them. So they're from the same chair company.
Yes.
But older people, sometimes, you need...
We did not get into the armrest chairs.
Well, we have just a couple of them, and so we strategically
I like
place them where people that I know have trouble standing usually sit, so that they have the option of the chairs with the armrests. But when they stacked those chairs, they put them as like number 2 or 3 in the stack, and then you can't put one.
That's not helpful.
The stacked chairs were a mess the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, we have now 3, I say young adults. The one guy is my age, and then the other 2 are, in their 20s. But we have 3 young men with intellectual disabilities that live in a group home about a mile from here, and they get picked up and come every Sunday.
Love that.
They love our church. Our church loves them.
It's awesome.
And I forgot to make the announcement last Sunday morning, hey, we need to stack chairs. And so one of them saw me, started to be like, oh, Pastor Andrew, can we help? Absolutely. So the 3 guys who
that's ministry
can't live on their own did the best jobs. So the men's small group.
Of course they did. They
terrible at stacking chairs.
They paid attention to the details.
3 guys that I'm like, hey, we need to do it this way. We put the ones with the armrests on top. They did great. But so then
that's awesome.
Election was on Tuesday. Thursday, I go into the worship center and I realized, oh wait, all of the chairs are still stacked up, and Sunday's coming.
Always.
And so Timmy,
always,
I unstacked all the chairs by my loan. So it turns out it takes exactly the length of the Caedmon's Call album 40 Acres to do an entire worship center here at Safety Harbor Community Church with one person. I thought as I was doing this...
When is the last time you set up chairs solo? It's probably been a while.
It's been a while. But I thought, as I was doing it, I thought, ooh, I should get like the time-lapse video of me doing this to add to the socials. But then as I'm undoing, I'm like...
that's you.
Then it's like, hey,
oh, wow. Look how hard Pastor Andrew's
by the
working.
Grace of God, the video didn't work. You know, whether
You
it's
did
'cause
try?
I tried to take the video,
I'm
and then I was like,
I wish that had worked.
I was debating like, oh, do I post this or not? And then I got to it, and I don't know if I didn't have the storage because it does like the full video.
You were going to post
compressed.
without asking me first.
I know. My plan.
You were going to post it, and then I was going to give you a hard time about
I was going to
it.
text the Practically Pastoring group chat
That's our check.
and say, hey, is this okay? And really, I was going to text Jeff separately because I was like, Jeff, you and I are the only solo pastors here. So you get it. More than the
You wanted
others
to make
do.
yourself look good.
And so
Your heart wasn't in it.
sometimes
The Lord
Holy-
knew it.
Sometimes the Holy Spirit
Wow.
affects my iPhone storage.
Wow.
And so then I'm done. I'm getting ready to go to soccer practice.
Mm.
And I don't know what I did with my right arm that was different than my left, but my right arm for the next 3 days.
You're telling me that unstacking chairs caused an arm injury?
Tim, there were 120 chairs, man. It was a lot of work. And then you got to get them hooked together. And then if they're the ones with the armrests, the hooks on those are differently. Then you got to get them at the right
You should have
angle.
called your boys, had them bust over. They would have done a great job.
I should have. I could have bought 3 sandwiches and saved my right arm a whole lot of swelling. That's okay.
CJ says, is that like sharing sermon clips on your personal page? Ouch.
That's kind of what it is.
It's not far off.
It-
So here's the deal. I don't mind sharing podcast clips.
That's
like that.
Oh, I'm aware.
Well, I didn't share all of them.
No, I know. For Practically Pastoring, we've got some exciting things to talk about. There's some new sponsorships. There's just all kinds of.
Pete says, not all of us work out, Tim.
There's a whole lot of exciting things to talk about.
Unstacking
there.
chairs can be a workout.
And I shared the Opus Clip service that I've been using for this podcast and for our church services with Frank. And he thought, wow, this is great. They gave us 20-some clips. We should post all of them.
Okay, that's what I wasn't ready for. It was an onslaught of clips. I'm like, do I have to share every single one?
We share 2 a week from this show.
Yeah.
And I do 1 sermon clip a week. But it's nice having the AI clip it out for you because then I don't feel like I'm watching a sermon back to try to find something clever
Is it
that I
the
said.
AI or is it just AI?
I have no idea.
The AI is fine.
I don't know. I've got a professor who has a novella out called The Atheist, but it's spelled AI Theist.
Andrew's getting the hymn's prescription for his shoulders now.
Listen, there's only one of us injecting things into our bodies right now to feel better and stronger.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. That's hurtful. That's hurtful.
Timmy, we all want to feel stronger. We all want to feel younger. We all want more
Vitality.
hair. We want vitality.
Right?
Some of us wish that we could grow a full beard, but whatever. Sometimes
How does the medicine not do that for you?
it's a different type of hormone that creates this hair versus this hair. I just think that God has a sense of humor, or God wants to keep me humble. He's like, Andrew, I'm going to give you pimples at 41 years old.
And I'm gonna ruin your iPhone storage at just the right time.
So that you can't grow a full beard and you suffer from an extreme widow peak that you've had since college.
Extreme widow.
And you look like Eddie Munster. You're so charming naturally, Andrew.
That's
that
true.
If I also made you handsome,
Wouldn't be fair.
it wouldn't be fair to anybody else, and then your church would be built on your cult of personality.
Do not want that.
Instead of the work of the Holy Spirit. And so,
right.
Andrew, so that you depend on the Holy Spirit, I'm going to make you greasy, bald, but also clean shaven.
Andrew, you're
Thanks be to
not
God.
allowed to look like a thumb. Didn't Melissa Larson say that?
When I said I needed to shave my head, my wife said, if you shave your head, you'll look like a thumb. You're not allowed.
Hey, Pete, you don't live that far away. Why don't you come over to the garage? We'll hang out.
Pete, he invites me constantly. Every time he starts a new beach
You know what?
body
That's it.
plane.
I'm going to start inviting Pete. You guys don't show up. Nobody else shows up. I've had one person show up, too. My brother and one of my home group members. That's it. Pete, that's it. You're coming over.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah.
You're not coming over.
I'm not going to your garage. You live very far away
That's
from
true.
me.
That's true.
This is meeting in the middle for us, and
That's
you
true.
still drove 40 minutes to get here.
I don't think this is the middle anymore.
I don't think it is.
Andy, we got to eat lunch soon.
We got to eat. We got to do a Practically Pastoring podcast. We got
Can we give a shout out first, though, because we have a conference coming up, buddy.
Practically Pastoring Conference is back.
It's back. We'll have a graphic
back.
next week.
I could hold up my phone or something like that with it.
We'll drop a link in the show notes.
We can drop a link in the show notes if you're interested in the Practically Pastoring Conference. It is going to be cheaper now than ever before. And don't we have a local rate that we're gonna
Come over to his garage. He just wants to take some pictures. That sounds like a T-shirt.
wear open-toed shoes? It's not that kind of workout, I promise. Listen, Practically Pastoring Conference. It's coming in February.
It's going to be awesome. If you have
$39 right now to register.
$39.
$39.
You've got
what
pastor
other ministry conference can you go to for $39?
Now, is this just for lead pastors?
No, it's for everybody.
You've got pastor
Ask
in
the
your
question
title.
that you knew the answer to. What is this a sermon? Come on, Tim.
Well, remember in X-Men when Xavier says, "Why do you ask questions to which you already know the answers?"
He does.
This was that moment for me.
He's bald. It looks better on him.
He doesn't look like a thumb.
He does not look like a thumb.
Adam says socks and Crocs required to work out. Hey, look, I work out in socks and Crocs all the time. All the time. Nothing wrong with that at all. CJ says, listen to this. Let's go. The wife and I plan on coming down. That's the other part of this we haven't mentioned yet. Wives, we're creating a separate track just for you.
Oh, it's a track, but it's like
it's a track.
Hey, you're invited. You are invited.
We are doing separate things for the wives.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
I'm just saying that my wife has one of those job things. So.
And your wife is not required to be there. My wife
She'll come for dinner.
She's going to be there for dinner. Steph is going to be doing some fun stuff with the ladies. We're going to make it awesome. So yes, wives are invited. In fact, do wives even have to register? They're free.
No, they're free.
They're free. Look at that.
Wives are for free.
Wives are for free, and there's probably going to be, I don't know, something extra special just for them.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
We should get the Practically Pastoring Conference T-shirt in pink.
Just for them.
Just for me.
What?
I look good in pink.
It's true, he does. Hey, we're going to be here.
Salmon.
Same time, same place?
Hopefully a little bit earlier next week.
Is Labor Day weekend?
Oh, it is. It's
okay?
Labor Day. We will not be here next week.
Where are you going to be?
In my pool?
In your pool. We might be here. No, we won't be.
We won't be. It's Labor Day.
We can't work on Labor Day.
Tim, we are both part of a labor union. It's the Evangelical Covenant Church Ministerium. We are union members. We have to participate in Labor Day.
We will be celebrating Labor Day on Monday.
We will be in our respective pools, and 2 weeks from now, we'll be on time-ish.
Can't wait to see you. We already miss you.
Until then.
Talk soon.